Right, are you ready for the day, dear Knightley?
Why, yes, I do think I am. But would you help me with my checklist?
Oh, yes.
I do sometimes forget a piece of armor or two.
I'd be happy to. Belt of truth.
Yes,
Breastplate of righteousness.
absolutely.
The shoes of readiness.
They are ready.
The shield of faith.
Shield. Ah, there it is. Got it.
Good. Helmet of salvation.
Don't leave home without it.
Last but not least, the sword of the spirit.
Oh. That's everything then.
Well, yes indeed.
Oh, the king was so kind to give me this armor. It really does make me feel so much better.
Well, Knightley, I'm certainly glad that you are ready to go. It seems like our village friends are in need of some cheering up. Why don't we see if we can help them?
Village. Why for do you look so downcast?
Look so what?
Sad. Why do you look so sad?
I have every right to be sad. All week I've been trying to get to the other side of the wall, but nothing's working. I pushed it and I hurt my elbow. I ran against it and I hurt my knee. I tried using the rope, but I just couldn't get it over the top. I even tried climbing it, but the cracks weren't big enough to hold me up. And this morning I tried to walk around it, but after an hour my tummy got rumbly and I had to come back.
My dear sister, you really did try your best. It was a valiant effort.
It's all a waste of time. We're never getting over this wall.
Tom, don't you mean that natural structure is just too big, but there's no point worrying about it because we can't get past it and there is no king on the other side and the earth is a cube?
Well, truth be told, I'm not sure what to believe anymore. I felt so smart with all my theories, but Cornelius has been presenting some very compelling arguments.
Wait, hold on. Don't you let these troublemakers change your mind. You were doing so well with your theories. There is no wall. There is no wall. We are just fine. We don't need a king. Seriously?
Well, it makes sense that this is indeed a wall, and it also makes sense that it was built over time by the folks who rebelled. But what good does knowing this do us? It's not like we have any way to get over it, and even if we did, I have trouble believing the king wouldn't still be mad at us.
My dear, the king is not mad at you. In fact, he always wanted for this wall to be gone so that you have a way to be back together with him. In fact, he'd been sending messengers for ages to try to bring you back, to make that choice to join him on the other side.
How come you two are the first to get here then?
Well, we aren't really. There were others who came before us, but they didn't really receive a very warm reception. You see, some were hurt or yelled at, told to go away, or just ignored.
And sometimes the lost subjects would start to come back, but, well, they would get distracted along the way, and sometimes even worse things happened.
Did they break a nail or run out of worms or something?
We ran out of worms once. It was not pretty.
Even worse than that, if you could imagine. The king realized that all his messengers were unsuccessful and unable to bring the lost people back to him. Well, he was heartbroken. He was sad to see his faithful friends treated so badly, so he tried to think of a way where the people would listen and, well, finally come back home.
Stop listening! Everybody stop listening! We can't hear you! La 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 la.
So, what happened?
Well, the king, he had one son, his heir and his prince. And he loved him very much, and he knew that surely, if the people would not listen to anyone else, they would listen to the crown prince. He sent his son to the other side of the wall, here, to talk to the people, to create a way for them to come back.
He sent a prince? Here? Is he handsome? Oh, he must have had great parties and parades and feasts. Oh, I would love to meet the prince.
La 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 la.
Well, actually, the prince, he was humble when he came. He took care of the people and loved them. He dressed like them, ate with them, and brought no special finery. really, most people would have believed that he was even a prince at all.
So, what happened to him? Is he still here?
Follow-up question. Is he single? I'm asking for a friend.
I don't know that I'd be interested in the prince.
You aren't the friend, dear sister, but I do wish for your happiness above all else. You were saying?
Well, the king's enemies realized that they had the crown prince right in their clutches. They thought that if they could get rid of the prince, then they could destroy the kingdom and defeat the king. So, like the other messengers, and even though he did nothing wrong, they actually killed him.
Good riddance.
Quiet, yeah.
He died? Like, dead? Like, no longer available to be wed dead?
Yes, what other kind of dead is there?
You'd be surprised.
That's somewhat troubling. Why don't we talk about that, Tom? Shall we?
Sure.
Don't you see? This is all nonsense. We don't need a king or a prince or anyone but ourselves. We are living our best life right now. Come on, let's go.
Stop! Let them finish. I want to hear.
So, if they killed the prince, the king must have been furious.
Well, he had the right to be, but even though the enemies thought the prince's death would be their victory, they were completely wrong. By making the ultimate sacrifice, the prince, by his death, was able to create a new way to the king, one that was never possible before. You see, the enemies didn't know that killing the prince would actually lead to the king's victory, once and for all. It was an act of true love, and because of what he did, we now have an opening in the wall and a map to get to the king. Clear instructions that anyone can follow if they're willing.
I think I want to go.
What?
I want to go back to the king. He sounds amazing, and his kingdom must be better than this hovel.
I want to go too. Worms aren't very vegetarian.
Me too. Oh, my dear prince, I too will go and honor your sacrifice.
No, you all belong to me, to the village of Village. You can't leave, I won't let you.
You let them go! Oh, that was easier than I thought.
Well done, Knightley. You truly held your title well.
Well, it was the king's armor, really. I just wore it and was prepared.
Quite right.
Since Millicent is gone, would you please tell us more about the king and the prince?
We would be delighted.